The meaning of Pentecost. Jesus lived on earth and taught a gospel that freed humanity from the superstition of being the devil's property, elevating people to the dignity of faith sons of God. The message of Jesus, as he preached and lived it in his time, was an effective remedy for the spiritual struggles that enslaved humanity back then. Now that Jesus had left the world, he sent his Spirit of truth, meant to dwell within people and reaffirm this message for every new generation. This ensures that each new group of mortals appearing on earth receives a fresh, contemporary version of the gospel. In every age, the Spirit of truth subtly tailors enlightenment to address the diverse spiritual challenges of humanity, offering effective solutions time and again. The primary mission of this Spirit is to promote and personalize truth, for understanding truth is the highest form of human freedom. Next, its purpose is to dispel the believer's sense of abandonment. Since Jesus walked among people, all believers would feel orphaned if the Spirit of truth hadn't come to live in their hearts. Don't make the mistake of expecting to feel a strong intellectual awareness of the outpoured Spirit of truth. The Spirit never draws attention to itself, only to the person of Jesus, the Son. From the beginning, Jesus taught that the Spirit wouldn't speak of itself. So, the proof of your fellowship with the Spirit of truth isn't found in knowing the Spirit but in experiencing a deeper connection with Jesus. The Spirit also came to help people vividly recall Jesus' words, to understand them in their proper context, and shed light on his earthly life, reinterpreting it anew. The Spirit of truth is a gift to believers, assisting them in bearing witness to Jesus' teachings. The Spirit of truth will lead believers into truth. Here on earth, it continues revealing God, and in the hereafter, it endows ascending personalities with divine experiences and ever-expanding knowledge. Jesus himself lived a life on earth that revealed a man who had surrendered his will to the will of his heavenly Father. It's not his intention for others to try to copy his example literally. His earthly life, along with his death on the cross and subsequent resurrection, was soon transformed into a new gospel. His suffering and death became the ransom paid to free humanity from the clutches of an angry, offended God. Yet, even though the gospel was gravely distorted, this new message about Jesus still carried many fundamental truths and teachings from his earlier gospel of the kingdom. Sooner or later, these hidden truths of God's fatherhood and human brotherhood will emerge, effectively transforming the civilization of all humanity. None of this, however, hindered the great spiritual progress of believers through growth in the Spirit. In less than a month after the bestowal of the Spirit of truth, the apostles made more individual spiritual strides than they had in nearly 4 years of personal, loving companionship with their Master. Nor did the triumph of the resurrection impede the rapid spread of their teachings. But on the contrary, this overshadowing of the message by new doctrines about his person and resurrection seemed to greatly ease the preaching of the good news. The phrase, baptism by the Spirit, widely used at the time, simply meant the conscious acceptance of this gift of the Spirit of truth and the personal acknowledgement of this new spiritual power as an enhancement of the spiritual influence previously experienced and taught by God-knowing souls.